Hey folks, so here we are, we're out here in the shop. I want to kind of answer a question for you guys. I get asked a lot throughout my videos, stuff I post on my social media, how I run my graphs, my setup, my mounts, my brackets, what I use. I kind of went over it a little bit in my boat tour, but I didn't really break it down. So I kind of want to do that right now. Real quick, I'm going to explain to you guys my unique reasoning on why I run two graphs up front and why certain times I only run one. So living here in Florida, Central Florida, I fish Lake Toho all the time. For those of you that don't know, my family owns the marina right there, Big Toho Marina. It's a bait and tackle shop right there in Kissimmee on the shores of Lake Toho. So I fish there all the time. And to be honest with you, we really only need to run one graph up front. It's a real shallow lake. I don't feel like you're going to be doing like a lot of structure fishing, ledge fishing, stuff like that. So traditionally, I'll just run one graph. So, and in that case, I run the Lowrance HDS Live. This is a 12. I got this mounted right here on a Bass Boat Technologies mount. And as you can see, I also have my Hydro Wave mounted to that on just a ram mount, and keeps everything on there real tight. And that setup there stays there. I got it locked on there. This will stay on the boat. I will not take that off unless I'm like traveling, but I keep that on there. And then when I go out of state, I run both graphs. This is right here is a Lowrance HDS 9 carbon. This basically is just I use for mapping. I like a bigger picture when I'm fishing offshore, when I'm at a lake I've never been to, or just even fishing a bigger tournament out of the state of Florida, because I might want to see more with my sonar, my graph, stuff like that. So this is my setup right here for tournament fishing outside of the state of Florida. And then I'll show you exactly my screen that I run when I'm here at home. So basically, like I said, this is just my GPS. This is all I use this 9 carbon for. And then the Live, as you can see, I got it on side imaging here. I run that on there. This is a color palette. I want to say it's 10. Yeah, 10. And then 13 on my traditional sonar. I run it on palette 13. Those are the palettes I run. I do play around with sensitivity and stuff. My down imaging, I like this blue palette. That's palette number 9 for you guys that are wondering. And that's my setup for that. I also have the brand new Live Sight transducer on here. So again, when I go away, I love to have a huge screen. So I'll run the Live Sight strictly on this, and then this I'll run my mapping on. Or if I want to run sonar on this when I'm offshore, or when I want to get my traditional sonar, my mapping, and my Live Sight, I'll just swap it over, and we have that set up right there. So there's my regular sonar, my mapping, and my Live Sight. So this is exactly my setup for when I go out of state. Now when I'm here in Florida, here at home, what I'll do is I'll just shut this one totally down. I take this one off the boat. I have this one mounted on this is a KVD Kong mount by T&H Marine. So I run this, let's shut off real quick, just show you guys how easy it is to take off. I put my cover on it. I undo 3 cables here. All my units are all linked together, so they all talk to each other. If I share a waypoint on the front, it'll go to the back, vice versa. If I share one on the back, it comes up front. So I'm gonna take these cords off, turn this thing, pop it off. There you go, that unit's off the boat. Now when I'm here at home, I'll run one graph right here. So this graph, I'll take these wires, tuck them away, and I run one graph when I'm here at home. And this is the HDS Live 12 again. And my setting here at home, when I'm here in Florida, fishing at home, this is what I run it on. Got my traditional mapping, my down imaging, and my traditional sonar. So that's basically that. Very simple. Like I said, this mount here, it's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy. It gives me a great line of sight when I'm running around. It's very low profile to the deck. Whereas that Kong mount, that little one up here, the 9, is it's up a little higher. So, but that's my setup. That's what I've learned to really enjoy using. My next boat, I might do it a little different. I might go with one bigger one up here, and just run it like that. or I might just stick with this. This is something I've been doing now for a few years, and it seems to work out pretty well. Also, if you ever have any types of issues with rough water, you know, I have a solid one here mounted. The Kong mount will take some rough water, but I've speared some waves and had some fun times with electronics in the past. So that's that. That's how I like to run the front of my boat. Highly recommend, if you guys, you know, are in the market for checking out graphs, check out the new live units. They're amazing units, super clear picture. Updates come out all the time for those of you that are looking to keep up to date with things. And the new live site is just insane. So make sure you check it out. This is the front of my boat. For those of you also wondering what I run, this here's a troll jacket by TH Marine. Keeps the cables all nice and organized. I'm like an organized freak. I love when things are nice, clean, and neat. And the reason that is I just think it saves time on the water. You don't have wires everywhere, you know. Things aren't going to move. Things are organized. So that's that, man. This is the front of the Bass Cat era. And now we'll move to the console. I'll show you guys what I have going on back there. All right, so here we are back out here. I want to show you guys my console real quick, how I run it, how I keep it set up. I might be able to dim these a little bit so it doesn't see it better on the camera. Right now, as I said, we're out here in the shop. Back here on the right side, I run a Lowrance HDS 9 live unit. That is ran on a KVD mini Kong mount. So there you go. I showed you guys the one up front there, and then the back one here I run on a mini Kong, just a little smaller unit. You know, up front, I believe that it's a little beefier up front there. The boat, you know, goes up and down. There's a lot more movement up front, so I like to run that bigger Kong mount for the front of the boat. This one here, very simple. I run straight mapping on it. I also run, you know, some mercury stuff. I can also run my smart gauges on here. Normally, once you have them dialed in the tournament, during the tournament, I'll just run this straight on, you know, my mercury page there. That way, I have all my gauges and everything that's going on with my motor there. So, run that on that pretty much. Also, you know, I have my mercury stuff there too. So, here's my graph. This is what I run my graph on most of the time. I got down imaging right there, down imaging there, traditional sonar, and my side imaging. Very simple. I run different color palettes. I'm sure you guys that have watched some videos on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen some guys run 2 down imaging color palettes. I run one on one side, color palette 1 and color palette 8. They both show you different things. So if you're running one, you might be missing out on some stuff. So definitely try running 2 different color palettes there on down imaging. You know, regular traditional sonar, palette 13, and then my regular side imaging, I run on palette 10. That's what I found best for me. Both of these are mounted, well, I guess this one's mounted on a traditional Lowrance mount there, right here. And then this one is mounted on a Bass Boat Technologies. I got it mounted straight to the dash. I don't like putting my units in the console. You can do that if you want, but if you want to change it later on down the road, or like I sell my boat every 2 years, so if somebody wants to change the graphs, you know, in a couple years, the person that buys it, they don't have to like cut out a unit or have big holes to fill in the console. So this way you can kind of customize it, do whatever you want to do. And so yeah, that's that. That's what I run my graph on, or my graphs. That's my setup. And hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. If you have any more questions on anything, just comment below, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more videos. I know I tell you guys that all the time, but I really need to. I'm just very busy, but we'll see what happens. So thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.